Alrighty, we are live. Welcome back, everybody, especially those
What is
joining us from the morning stream. We're here to talk about Money Monday and talk about real estate. Although we might have some time for some quick investment chats and things like that, but we'll have to see. We just want to kind of go over some things in real estate right now and see where I hope you guys understand a little bit and where we're going. So let me just drop the feedback there. All right. So I know there's a lot of talk. We get a lot of questions, especially on what's in your portfolio on Sundays about real estate and real estate investing. So we're going to go over just some of the details of real estate and kind of what I'm looking for and how you generally make money on properties and things like that. And let's see here, real estate markets, Arkansas. So, because I know there's a lot of talk about foreclosures, and it's like foreclosures, yeah, they're up like I think foreclosures were up like 18%, but they're still less than 1% of the total volume of mortgages. So we're really not. We're actually still at kind of like peak numbers. It's just that people aren't cashing out on the equity of their home by selling it and buying their dream home. They're not doing those 1 mile down the road moving. They're buying the house that they want and they're staying put. So that's kind of like what the market is. I know we got rents out of control and everything, and trust me, rents income's going to go down. We're going to talk about how I'm preparing my my real estate business to absorb that downward trend. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Welcome in. One of our great moderators. Also, since we're going to go over some of the basic topics before we get into the main topic, definitely like and subscribe, follow us. I know Monday nights, we're starting a new thing. We're going to do a stream. We're always going to do our morning streams. We're going to do our evening stream. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be a stream with me and Cody. And then Thursday is the Patreon only stream. And then Friday is a stream with Crypto Dream, myself and Crypto Dream. And then, of course, on Saturday, every other Saturday, I'll do a What's in Your Business stream. And then Sunday, we always do What's in Your Portfolio. I think it's a nice time. Markets are kind of cool. We can kind of go over some of our losses and gains, go over crypto picks, things like that. And of course, if you're new, we also offer some exclusive Patreon content and all the videos that are premiering, which I got about 4 videos that I got to upload and post and premiere. So you'll be able to get early access on Patreon when you subscribe, $3 subscription. And of course, you get access to Discord where Cody and I are pretty active. Though I haven't been active on there because it, for some reason, got booted off my computer. I can't open up the app. So I think some of its programming got overlapped, but I have it on my phone. So I'll just be messaging through my phone throughout the day with you guys. You want to ask any questions or anything in there. So we're back here. Got Cody here, who is aspiring to get into real estate once he cashes out on the crypto bull run. I'm already currently in real estate, and we're going to talk about some of the great things that real estate can help with. Now, a lot of what real estate can help with too is if you have a business and you are running pretty successfully, you're cash flowing pretty well, you can start taking some of that cash flow and investing in real estate. I wouldn't recommend going into crazy homes. Like I said, we're going to do market research. You got to do market research. You got to understand the community you're investing in. You also got to understand, is the city okay with jobs and things like that. And also, I think there's also some talk about some crypto-based real estate funds, but the only thing I really know is Quant is trying to tokenize real-world assets, and that's going to help the real estate industry tremendously, especially with the faster you can close, the faster everybody can get their money, the faster people will be happy and move on with their lives, because taking 60 days right now to close, which is the average close time, is kind of sucky. So let's go over some of the deals, because I think I found a good article on foreclosures. There it is. And here we go. So we have foreclosure data. I'm going to bring this up on the share the screen for you guys, and boom. So we have foreclosure data. As you guys know, I'm currently in Arkansas, and like right now in Arkansas, it's like the housing market has slowed. The only places it's really busy is Little Rock, maybe West Memphis, but definitely Northwest Arkansas and kind of Fort Smith area. Shout out to Jose Malim. I hope I got that name right. Glad to have you in here, and thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Because right now we have literally like 0.00002% of the houses that were sold in Arkansas went into foreclosure. So it's about one for every 4,696 house. So this area is not being affected as much because we have all the chicken all the chicken companies, all the chicken plants, we have Walmart, JB Hunt. Who else do we have? Oh, we got regional offices for Tyson. Not Tyson. I'm sorry. What the devil's that? Hershey's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Mars Candy. All those guys are in the area. Clorox, all that stuff. So they're kind of like, they have regional offices, and they're active. And to do business with Walmart, that you have to be active in the community. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Thanks for sponsoring the live. Glad to have you in here, one of our great moderators. So, and also, guys, like his channel. Go to his channel, subscribe, and like. We're trying to help him get over 500. He's almost there. Go, guys, help him out. I know we're going to get more people in here as we keep going. But so but there's areas like I want to cover what was it? Arizona. Arizona, you're looking at quite a bit of a spike, and the housing units have dropped quite a bit. I'm looking at about a 1% foreclosure rate, and then you got where else there was a hot spot? Where's Las Vegas? Oh, gotta go the other way. Las Vegas. Where is Las Vegas? Oh, Texas is another one. Wow, they're down. They're about 1.5%, and that's mostly affected by Austin and Houston. Their housing markets are going down. Utah, another one. It's about 1% foreclosure rate. I'm trying to find. Oh, New Jersey's at 3%. New Jersey's at 3% foreclosure rate. It's basically one in every neighborhood is foreclosing. On Nevada, we are at about 1.5%. So we're definitely gonna get some good deals on those. But the thing is like there's a lot of people over the last 3 years saying, "Hey, invest in Nevada, invest in Florida, invest in Tennessee." Those right now have the highest for are starting to get the highest foreclosure rates, and that's mainly because the hype increased it so much that you had to overbuy the price. You had to overbuy what the actual value of the home was, and unfortunately, not everybody can over. You're not going to be able to overcome that. And with rising interest rates, you won't be able to refinance. So, how are you going to go through this with investing, and how are you going to buy properties when people are less and less people are going to be selling? So, the best way I say is you got to watch these foreclosure points because the foreclosure marks we're going to get up to about 5% foreclosure rate, which is it was going to be very high, but not as bad because in 2008 we were at about 8.5% foreclosure rate of mortgages. So I'm already seeing a downward trend in the areas like developments are taking longer to build. The road work's kind of laid out, but they kind of stopped. I drove around all over Oklahoma today, on like the east part of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and there's a lot of properties that were planned. The streets have been made. Everything's set to go except for there's no houses. So that's telling me that we're going to start to have. That means we're starting to have more inventory than the market can handle, and builders aren't building. I talked to one builder who does about $100 million in sales per year. They have a headquarters here in shout out to Oscar. I'm not even going to try that, but hey, thanks for joining in the live. Appreciate the support. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Then come say hi when you're in Oklahoma. No, I was kind of in like the Miami, Oklahoma area. I wasn't really down by Oklahoma City area, buddy, but I wasn't in Miami, like the northeastern part of it. And I went to go visit a couple areas I knew had $1 million homes that were being built and for sale, and they look like they've been empty for a while. And so like back to what I was saying, like if you're going to get a good deal on a house, especially like a duplex, triplex, or multi-unit property or complex, if you're at the complex level, it's like these guys are going to start going to foreclosure. And since a lot of people who bought rental property, especially Airbnbs, there's a couple Airbnbs in Fayetteville, Arkansas right now that are under the house tax. Like each bedroom has its own bathroom, and it's really cool. But they overpaid for these. I mean, the mortgage is a $1.2 million mortgage for asset value of 700,000. That means that sucker's going to go into foreclosure because it's underwater and it's going to get liquidated out. It's underwater and it's going to get liquidated out and probably liquidated out pretty quickly. Now, I know the most common way for a lot of people to get into real estate is through an FHA loan. You just got to be careful because you got to make sure you got to make sure you buy the right rental unit in the right place. make sure you do your research. I'd recommend, is there a strong economy in the area? Meaning the jobs aren't going anywhere, people have work, and it's generally middle class to lower middle class. They're the ones that are most likely going to need the rent from you. And is it in a safe area? And do you have like within walking distance for kids to go to school? Because that's the most important thing. If both parents are working, the kids got to be able to walk home by themselves or have quick access to the home. So like I like in what was it, Jay, Oklahoma, the best place was like there's like a bunch of rental properties. I bought a couple back around. They're not luxurious or even that attractive looking. They look like they should be torn down, but they're perfectly fine. They're just old. And I can rent those out for 850. I've had the same tenants for the last year and a half, and they actually, when they did after a 1 year lease, they signed a 2 year lease. I don't like to raise prices because I'm paying off the debt, so, and I try not to get too much debt. But if you want to get an FHA loan on those, it's you want to put 10% down. Although if your credit score is above, I think it's 700, you can put down 3.5%, but you got to live in the property for 2 years. That's why I recommend get a duplex, or at the very best, try to look for that triplex in your area, because that way you can get double the income, and then when you leave, you've already paid down a significant amount of the debt, and then you can move on to your next property, and you can get the FHA loan sometimes 4 times, sometimes 10 times. It depends on the bank, but at least 4 times you can get that loan. After that, you're not going to qualify for it anymore. You're going to have to get a standard property asset loan, based asset loan, and that's going to be probably the hardest. That's probably going to be the hardest one to learn, because it's also the easiest one where banks can liquidate, call you anytime. So the property, you have to own majority of that property. So those usually take 30, 40, or 50% down, and you want to aggressively pay that off before then. So like the deal I just did with my brother, that was quite a bit. We put down pretty much everything we could, and we worked with a bank that we've worked with for a while, so they know us, and we were able to get the property with about 30% down. And it was crazy because we had to liquidate some things to get to where we had to be, because the property was just, well, it's 5 years old, but it's in a good area, and it can make a lot of money once you get rid of all the cheap ass all the cheap appliances and things like that. Shout out to a few of you guys. I see that you're in here. Glad to have you in here. I think I see shout out to Knowledge. I think you're in here, but glad to have you in. Welcome back. Yep, there you are. Shout out to LJ and Mike 2.0. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. Hopefully you guys can enjoy this and we can provide some decent content for you guys. Because I know real estate's boring. It's not as flashy as people think it is. But there's only one sure way to do it, and that's to make sure that your credit score is on point, and that your cash flow is really good on not only the property but yourself. Now, I know a lot of you guys, you're new, you're wanting to get into it. I'm telling you, here's the fastest way to get into it and get to 700 credit score or higher. Make sure if you have any debts, you start paying them off. All of them, just pay them off. Just get rid of them. If you have any like outstanding collections or anything, don't negotiate. Just go over and say, hey, how much? Pay it, come back, keep paying it. After about 6 months, after you do that and you build up your reserve, next big thing is buy a car. You're going to have to buy a car. It doesn't have to be expensive, like a used Corolla, something that's like 14,000. You could put 7,000 down, pay the 6,000 off. And if you make double the payments for 6 months, because that's how I did it, your credit score will get to about 750. Then you'll get a couple credit cards. Mainly the first one will be an Amex. Probably the second one will be a Chase Ink card. Once you get those, just put like your gas, don't buy any special purchases on those. But gas, your like your Netflix, your stuff like that. Try to make it so that it's using about a couple $100 a month, or $300 or $400 a month, and then make that whole payment at the end of every month. So that way you're spending their money, paying it off, getting it interest free for 30 days. You don't have to worry about the high percent interest. You do that for another 6 months, you'll probably have an 800 credit score. And it's pretty direct, but you got to make sure if you do have any debts, pay them all off. If you're 18, that's the only way you're going to get to that level that fast. There's no gimmick. No one can make it that happen. You just have to build a payment history, and you have to build an aggressive payoff history where it's showing like, okay, this person is making those payments on time and regularly, and you'll be able to qualify for some of the better loans. Because some of the loans I did get, I qualified as mainly because as soon as my moving company got up there, I wasn't really putting money into crypto. I was paying off every debt I had. I paid off every debt that I could possibly conceive of. And then I went to start fixing my credit and building my credit back up, got a few loans on vehicles for the business, and then finally I had a credit score high enough to start getting some rental properties, and now it's like clockwork. I don't have to use my personal credit anymore. I can use the company's, because the company's now been coming up on 2 years. This January will be 2 years for that company, and it's going like that's the only way to do it, and it's going to take a minimum 2 to 3 years to get there. I'm sorry that you guys might think it's like, oh, if I do all this in 3 months, I'll have 10 doors. It's probably not. Probably what you'll have in 3 months is a well-funded reserve fund, and probably most of your debt paid off. Oh, excuse me. And now, to help you guys understand and select properties, so this way we can avoid it, because your first property is either going to be an FHA loan, or if you don't qualify for that, it's probably going to be an APY loan. So we want to make sure that we can get the right area, right? So I'm going to choose Bentonville, Arkansas, because it has a nice healthy mix of what we're looking for. And let me bring that sale price, because I was actually looking for a home myself. All right, so if you're on the YouTube side, I have it brought up here. But the common mistake is that we're trying to buy, let's say we're trying to buy over here in like downtown Bentonville, right? And this is the type of house that everybody sees, right? It's very modern, it's very chic, it's very even looking. This is a 2-bedroom, 1,200 square foot house. It's just built, it's a townhouse. You're talking 605,000. So you're not going to be able to cash flow this with the mortgage. It's just impossible. The rent's going to be like 5,500, and this area can't do it. However, let's take a look at. Let's see here. There are some properties. I'm going to go to price, no max. Let's do 200. I think there's. So here's a property. I think it's going to auction. Yeah, it's going to auction. But this is the type of property you want to invest in. The house was built in 1996. It's 40 years old. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. This is a place where you could probably rent this out for $2,200 and cash flow $400 or $500 at the end of the day off of it. And maybe if you put down half, your mortgage on $100,000 is going to be like $900. And it has a garage. We're close to the main schools. We're close to Walmart, although it's a little close to the main Business 71, like the main road in center of town, and it's got a lot of traffic, but it's close to Walmart. It's in one of the better school districts. Or we can go to like, if we move this boundary, we can go down to like Lowell and Springdale. Like, here's a property, 125,000, and you can definitely make it. You can definitely make it work. Needs a little bit of work, but nothing some power washing, fixing up of the gutters, and then probably new floors, new paint job on the walls, change out that old paneling, and of course change out the cabinetry. Probably looking at another 30,000 of investment, and boom, I could rent this sucker out for 1,500. Aggressively pay it off. Shout out to Owls. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. What are you investing in? Uh, I invest in pretty much everything I understand, which is crypto, stocks, real estate. I have 4 businesses, 2 of which I'm a majority investor, or really like 50-50, or like I'm equal party investor in it. And then, of course, I'm an accredited investor. I invest in some Class C shares, as well as I try to help if there's a good idea, someone has a good business. I try to invest in that too, but I try to invest in everything I understand. Shout out to Crypto Dream. My house costs half that. Yeah, it's crazy how much people are willing to spend out here. But I wanted to kind of show, like, there's some good properties. And to like I go to a place called Parsons, and or we let's go take a look at Pittsburgh, Kansas, right? It's a town. There is some decent work. There's the chicken plants out there. But look, I can get a house, 3-bedroom house, 65,000. Uh 2-bedroom house, 79,000. A little better condition than that 3-bedroom. Got a 1,500 square foot house for 155. Got a 3-bedroom for 80,000, 97, 79, 49,000 for this one. 110,000 for 2,500 square feet. So shout out to Callie. Glad to have you in here. Welcome in. Glad to have one of our. So it's like, instead of targeting like the Instagram worthy houses, go for these. These are cheap to get into, cheap to fix up and get ready to rent. Depending, you got to visit the property because some of them have a lot more work than might be required. But let's just take a look at this $110,000 one, right? This $110,000 house. It's not really. It's nice for the area, but it's nothing special. It's just an old house. I think it was built. When was this built in? Is it going to tell me the age? I don't think they're even going to say the age of the house. But I'm pretty sure it was built in the 40s or 30s. But, I mean, looking at that house, it's actually got some nice architecture inside that you can gussy up. Looks like someone already did a lot of work, just, rebuffing the floors. It's got the natural mahogany floors, too. Like, it's a nice little home. Might change some of the colors, make it more palatable for an average person. And it's, I mean, for 100, let's go take out the mortgage calculator, because right now you're going to get 8%, and if we do 30% down, we'll be doing 69,000 on the mortgage. You're talking about a payment of you're talking about a payment of 537. Let's just say we add 30,000 to fix it up. Shout out to Callie. Hello to you too, buddy. Hope you had a great day. Thanks for joining in the live. And shout out to Big D. Welcome back in. Glad to have you in here. We're going to open up the forum in just a minute so I can answer your guys' questions. But so this is kind of how I look at the house. Like, I probably would buy this house. So $707, right, is what it's going to cost to fix it up. Looking around, Zillow says, I think they say the average. Man, I can't even get. Oh, there we go. Okay, what's the average? Yeah, our estimate is 753. But what's the average rent that you can get off of this? Usually they say. I don't even know if they'll say it on this one. But I think for this one, I could probably get 1,200 because it's 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,500 square feet, has a decent yard, and it is close to one of the better areas of town. So you're only 5 minutes from the grocery store. The high school is about 5 minutes up the road, and the plant is maybe a 20-minute drive. Um, yeah, not that bad, right? Not that bad. There's a couple places in there, but let's even go down a little further and go and check out some of these other ones, right? Because the first thing I look at, let's go to Baxter Springs, right? That's another small town that's kind of like isolated in Kansas. Not a lot going on. They're on the border of Oklahoma, so you're either there. Your tenant is either going to be working at George's or Cargill, or they're going to be working at one of the casinos. So here we have. I still see some bills. Houses are a little higher in this area. I mean, I'm seeing some nice properties. Here's one, 175,000, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So looks like it's a new property. Here's one, 3 beds, 1 bath, 99,000. Here's another one, 4 beds, 2 bath, 137. Yeah, let's take a look at that one because that's probably one that we're going to take a look at, right? So I like some of these older houses because they have character and they have things that kind of are unique to each one. Because I can even see in this one, you're getting real wood panels and flooring and stuff like that. Things you just don't get in rental properties. And the only thing you probably would need to do, put in a washer and dryer, nice new one, and change some of this cabinetry around. I don't think I see a good look at the kitchen. Oh, here it is. Yeah, looks like someone already put in a new dishwasher and range. Might have to replace the refrigerator. Cabinets kind of match. I've changed out the wallpaper. You're probably looking at another $10,000 worth of investment to get it going, but it has like nice quirky things like this glass uh, doorway to I guess the family room. It's got wood. It's got wood railing. This is something I could probably rent out for 12 or 1,300. I'd put probably about 50% down on this one, and then get a equity loan to get a property loan to get it all squared away. So, but this is a house that everyone on Instagram is going to tell you no, don't do it. A lot of these gurus are saying no, that's a waste. You should go to Las Vegas, get this $700,000 property, Airbnb being out, house hacking. I'm telling you, that's the hardest stuff you can ever do. Hardest you can ever do. Shout out to Crypto Dream. I gave as many likes as I could. Now I can fully focus. Hey, we appreciate that. I do see that we got a decent amount of people in despite being so late. But we appreciate everybody being in. So I'm going to start opening up the forum, let you guys answer, share, and like. Um, we'll try to keep it on topic, but if you're thinking about getting into real estate or how you want to set up the business, let me know. Because like how I set up my business is I set up as an LLC and then it's under a holdings company. So that way all of its profit goes right to the holdings company. So God forbid something happens, insurance company wants to sue you, people want to be degenerate and sue you. They can't get anything off that company because all of his profit goes to the next goes to the holdings company, and most people don't know that there's a holding company. I recommend that, especially if you got a lot of property and a lot of other assets and other businesses, as a good way to protect yourself along with an umbrella policy. You want to have that because God forbid one day some world-class brain surgeon walks by, trips, falls, breaks their hands. You don't be sued into oblivion from that. But let me go ahead and drop the link in here for you guys to join. If you want to join on TikTok, just hit the guest button, join us live. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, you can join us live here, and we'll kind of answer your question. Uh, and I want to also talk about you don't want to buy land in the hopes of it. Like I see a lot of people are buying plots of land, but it only makes sense if you got tons of money and you can buy land by like major highways and areas. That way you can because they're the ones that are going to have the ability to pay the taxes and be able to cash out on the equity. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Do you have construction people you trust, or do you use locals? I have one guy. He is local, but I trust him to do a lot of the handiwork. Like he knows how to put up drywall, paint, carpentry work, put up a deck. Um, he knows how to fix holes in the wall, fix cracks in wood, blemishes in floors. He knows how to put down floors, carpet. He even knows how to install mailboxes, fences. He's kind of a jack of all trades and has been doing it for like 30 years. I've used him a few times to fix damages on my moving company that have been caused. Overall, he's pretty solid. I trust him a lot to run those to do those properties. So I'm not I'm not really I don't really like using big companies. I like using local people, but he's willing to travel. I mean, I sent him out to Chucktown, Oklahoma for a couple properties, paid for his hotel, had him, do his thing. Shout out to Reptile King. How Hello, how was your weekend? It was pretty good. Made decent money. Still making money on crypto. Haven't lost it yet. So, but glad to have you in here. Friday I closed on that property. So hopefully all those it has like 18 of the 65 units are vacant or going to become vacant, but they need to be upgraded pretty bad. Like they need to be upgraded really bad. Even though it's only 5 years old, it's just that the appliances are shot. They use particle board counters, so I'm not a big fan of that. I like using granite counters, and I got to upgrade all of that. But overall, like the upgrades are only going to cost, I think, like 15,000 for all the appliances because I'm getting them wholesale, and I think I'm paying my contractor like 30,000, like 3,500. I'm sorry, to like put in carpets in the bedrooms for a few of them, and then I have my moving side, my cleaning company clean some of them, so clean the rest and get them all steam clean, shampooed, and everything. But overall, my weekend is great. Shout out to Reptile King. What are we talking about today? I just joined. I'm late. No problem. This is the first episode of Money Monday, and we're talking about real estate, and we're really just going over some of the things because a lot of people have been asking me either briefly on lives or in like my DMs on TikTok and Facebook, just saying, hey, that they're in a property, should they do? They're negative equity, they're in a negative equity position, they bought in the wrong places, they're having a hard time finding a tenant, Airbnb's not working, things like that. And right away, I could already tell you got an APY loan, you bought the wrong program, you look for the wrong house. Yes, it looks nice. It's cool to say, hey, I bought this $800,000 house that I'm renting out. But at the end of the day, the bottom came out of the economy, and now it's having a hard time renting it because your mortgage is too high, your cost of ownership of that property is too high, and you're getting hit with property taxes. It's not a good situation, and unfortunately, it's quite a few people that have reached out to me are facing foreclosure. I said it's going to be even hard to sell out of it because you have negative equity. You're going to have to take a $200,000 or $300,000 loss on the house to get rid of it. But appreciate your questions, Reptile King. Thanks for being a great supporter. Um, Definitely ask away your questions. If you guys want to join in live, definitely would appreciate you guys joining in. I can't believe we're already almost to an hour already. Dang. But definitely glad to go in here. I also want to say you want to be careful about APY loans because they have an introductory. A lot of times they have an introductory rate that's like, oh, it's only going to be like $800 for like the first couple of years, but then on the third year, that 25th month, oof, all of a sudden you're dealing with like a $5,000 mortgage payment, and the interest rate skyrockets. And because interest rates rose up, now you're paying more on that mortgage. Also, there's a lot of people who went the Airbnb route. It's not looking too good. A lot of my clients over the last couple of weeks told me they closed up their Airbnbs. They're no longer in business. And I could already see that the house is like 90 days past due on the mortgage. So I'm waiting for some of those houses to go on the market, especially in the Fayetteville area, in the foreclosure market. And I have a feeling in like 6 months we're going to get some really good prices on homes. So if you are out there looking for either your first home or to buy some rental properties, get ready for some good prices. It's probably going to come in March or April of next year, right at the beginning of what would be the boom time for the housing market, and we're just going to see like an epic decline. Shout out to knowledge. How do you find out about the prices and stuff? Well, a lot of it comes through my networks of banking, uh, understanding, being able to look at credit scores and things like that, or just properties. Most mortgages are in some type of mortgage security, and once you find it, which is a little easy if you know the person at the bank, but it's a little hard. You have to go to the securities exchange, find out which batch that got into, and things like that. Um, and you can find out how if it's late or not, and then you know if it's going to be on foreclosure. But you usually talk to every bank has a foreclosure department or asset resale department is sometimes what they're called, or asset management. Basically, what they're saying is they're selling off the cars that have come back and the homes that are going into foreclosure, and that's where you can find out those prices. Shout out to Callie. Did you talk about making sure people include PMI insurance and regular insurance? No, I didn't. You also got to make sure you get all that stuff. Tenant insurance, insurance on the property, landlord insurance, especially if you're in, make sure you get all the appropriate insurance in your area. So, like if you're in, like where I am, Central Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, it's Tornado Alley here. So you make sure you have a tornado insurance. Now, it doesn't cost much for the most part, as long as you follow whatever the terms are of the contract that you have with the insurance company. Mine is that I make sure I install new roofs. I update the properties before the insurance takes effect. I got to update. I got to make sure the roof is in good condition or update the roof. Make sure all the warranties are up to date and everything, and make sure I have who was the builder and who was the installer of it. And sometimes people don't calculate that into the cost of their payment. Yeah, they don't. I know a guy that we moved down to Oklahoma. He didn't calculate tornado insurance, which they were mandating that he had to have, and that caused a $15,000 increase on his down payment on his home. So you don't want to run into those scenarios. You want to make sure that you're getting what's in the area and getting the right insurance, and to make sure you can still offer a good price. Now you don't have to have tenant insurance on your tenants, but you can't. But you do want it because people have pets. You want to make sure no one has anything your insurance is going to complain about, like German shepherds, pit bulls. Not all complain about them, but some do. Or in case they decide to get upset with you and destroy the place, you want to make sure you have insurance because that way you can get the damages replaced, repaired, fixed right away, get that unit back on the market for rent, and start cash flowing again. I've seen a lot of people over the last couple of years that are getting wrecked by tenants and everything because they got mad that they have to leave. They owe so much money on the back owed rent, and they're just trashing places, like busting windows, breaking appliances. And it's still hard to get some appliances like refrigerators, washer, dryers. It's hard. Sometimes you might be waiting like 6 to 8 months for that. So what do you do in that scenario? If you don't have insurance, you're gonna be out. And like my insurance covers also if I have to evict the tenant, I can get back up, I think like 55% of the rent that would be owed, and then they go chase down the former tenant. But as long as I background check and follow all the rules and also check credit, my insurance doesn't have a problem with, and I haven't had a problem with people. Usually, they're just hardworking families that are trying to live the American dream, and so they'll always pay. They generally always pay their house first. So I've only had a few, and I said it about maybe a year ago. If you contact me about, hey, I'm going to be late on the rent or anything, I'm very forgiving. I'll probably just say, no problem. I'm not going to charge any late fees. I understand times are tough. I've been there at some point in my life, so I'm not going to push it out on others. But it's also, excuse me, sad to see people try to get into the landlord markets, and you get wrecked by a bad tenant or a bad storm and not having the appropriate insurance, or buying a house in a floodplain and not having flood insurance, and then it floods. Oh, here's a good one. I think this is a duplex. Looks like a duplex. Not sure. This one's in Bend, Arkansas. 139,000. Might be a duplex. I think it is a duplex. Definitely looks like it. Just needs some updating. Ooh, it's got the wood panel doors from what you call it, the 80s. Um, Shout out to Jeffrey Newman. I do kind of look like him, just not as Jewish as him. But hey, welcome in. Glad to have you in on the stream. Definitely, I think I'm definitely a little bit better musically than him because I was in an all-state music band for when I was in high school. So I think I can play. I was in a classical all-state band and then the all-state pit band for 4 years straight. That's what my parents put me through. So I'm a little bit better than him when it comes to some music. Probably not as annoying, but I can't write it, so probably write just as bad as him. Oh, here's a good one I found. Just another 129,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 1,300 square feet. Same thing. Just a standard everyday home. Oh, I've is that a Seinfeld reference, Jeffrey? I'm not sure. I'm not. That might be a Seinfeld reference. I'm not sure. Okay, yes, that's what I figured. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I ruined your joke. But unfortunately, I've never watched an episode of Seinfeld. Never, never watched it. So all your jokes are gonna fly right over my head. Um, I don't know. I don't see. Do we have anybody? Nope, we don't have anybody joining in on on YouTube. It's open floor. If you guys want to get in, it seems like Cali X2 has some. Cali has some good information and knowledge about getting into rental properties. So I can tell you that I haven't had quite a bad experience with a tenant yet. I've had some that refuse to leave, but once you start the process of eviction, Arkansas is pretty lenient. They're there and they're like, you got till 21st, get out, pay or get out. So shout out to Jeffrey Braddock. Thanks for the follow. What are we doing? It's the first episode of Money Monday, and we're talking about real estate. you can go back and watch the live. Went over some points that I look for in there. Well, if anyone hasn't heard of Tom Cruise, there actually he came from his hometown in New Jersey is only an hour and a half away from mine in New Jersey. So we know all about Tom Cruise. Let's see here. I don't think I got anybody waiting, so I'll give you guys a little bit longer. See if you guys want to join in. I know it's late. It's 8 o'clock here Central Time. Definitely going to know the Section 8 King. Oh, I started seeing about him. I'm not big on Section 8 because I don't like all the problems that go with it. I don't like all the government regulations. I'm not really about that. I like being as private as possible, and I don't want to have to deal with some of the problems that come with Section 8. Like, I didn't get into developing properties because in certain areas in New Jersey, I had to offer Section 8 housing with it, and I don't want to do it. He owns like 700 properties. Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. Shout out to Crypto Dream. He's joined in on the TikTok side. I can say you can make a lot of money in Section 8. It's just that it's whether the headache is worth it to you or not. I don't want to, because then you have to go into the areas you got to go through. He just bought a $20 million mansion. Hey, that's all for him. I'm not really looking about that. My house is. I think the house I'm looking at. Let me show you guys the house I'm looking at. So, because I'm working on putting on bids, but also waiting to see if the next style they want next style they have will come available. Have to see. Oh, let me change this to any price. All right. I know it's in this area. No. Shout out to Callie. Had to feed the dogs for listening. That was definitely. Oh, definitely glad to have you in here. Shout out to Jeffrey. He hires a management company to deal with the tenants. Yeah, but then you still got to deal with the management company. You got to deal with, and then you got to give away part of your profit. I mean, he's paying part of his overhead to that management company, and some of them take 15, 18% right off the top. Shout out to Callie. I've been thinking seriously on buying a new home and renting the one we have. Yeah, it's definitely a good. So this topic is right on point. Yeah, it's definitely something I would definitely consider. Even if you're like in your 30s and you got a house that you're living in and your job's transferring you, definitely rent the house out. You can make a little bit of money. My brother only has a couple rental properties and he's earned over $300,000 in income with what he earns from the moving company and what he earns from his rental properties. Actually, I think I'm going to set the price to a minimum to find it, 700. Here we go. I think I'm going to find it soon for you guys. Here it is. This is one of the properties. I just don't like the color. If you guys are on Facebook, so like this is about as fancy as I'm getting. It's 3-bedroom. It's not really 4 baths. It's really 3.5 baths. I wish they would stop labeling a half bath as a full bath. So all it does is have a sink and a toilet. But yeah, if you're looking, this is one of the houses I put in. It's actually not too far from where Cody is. And not too far from where I'm thinking about setting up the studio and everything. But I don't know about all this stuff that they're doing, but I don't care about that. I just care about, the layout and everything. Shout out to Cali. I'm also considering a duplex, hard to find or for sale in our area. Yeah, you're in like a San Diego area. I think that'd be pretty hard. Um, I wouldn't recommend going too far away from where you can physically see the property. I would stick to at least your state, but even like California is hard because the northern part of California is vastly different from the southern part of California, and that's a huge drive. Oh no, you're near El Paso. Okay. El Paso. Yeah, that's a pretty tough place. It's hard there, but you can look at. I mean, let's take a look here. Let's go down to El Paso, Texas. Right? Where are you? So it looks like. Let me change the range here. Probably don't want to spend more than 500,000 on that duplex. And we do the home types. Oh, multifamily. There we go. Let's apply that. Okay, here's one. $235,000, El Paso, Texas. I think it's got 2 units, so it's not bad. But I don't know. I don't know. You got to tell me the area there, Cali. Um, because I'm seeing bars on the window. I'm not too fond of that. But shout out to Jay. Welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Shout out to El Gorito. I hope I got the name right. Welcome in. Glad to have you guys in here. Happy Halloween Eve to you too, Jay. Yeah, EP El Paso. Shout out to Cali again. But I live in New Mexico and work 40 minutes away in La Cruces. So looking more in La Cruces. Okay. Yeah, I found a couple in the past, but they were too far away. Okay, so let's take a look in La Cruces, right? Let's go to La Cruces. I do see a couple here. Here's one, 250,000, 1,400 square foot per unit, 2 beds, 2 baths in each unit. Oh man, that studio one here with looks like 4 units. It's crazy. That type of property. Oh my goodness. Well, it looks renovated and nice, but that is some narrow. Those are 1 bedroom apartments. So there's 2 1 bedroom apartments. Okay, I see. Oh my goodness. But you get a huge plot of land you could build out on. That's 290. Um, I just don't know the area. Here's one. Looks like it's got 4 units and it's 395,000. Kind of right up the alley that I would buy. Looks like you got. It's hard to say. It looks like you got. No, it looks like they're all 2 bedrooms. Yeah, they're all 2 bedrooms, one on each floor, two on each floor. So you got 2 top, 2 below. Oh, okay. Bars are common. Okay, because my hometown, bars are not common unless you in the hood, and that's usually a place you don't want to be. When I make a little bit more, when I get to a bigger net worth, I plan to go back to my hometown and start buying some rental properties more in the inner city area. But I have a few proper townhomes in my hometown in New Jersey. And let me tell you, New Jersey, I'm renting those suckers out for $3,800, and people are paying regularly for those. But they're also modern townhomes. They're very nice. So, but I think that actually this property, it's right off of San Brano Avenue, La Cruz, New Mexico. Looks very nice. 295. Probably get them to sell that for 350 because ain't nobody looking for it. Um, Shout out to Cali. There is a lot of hood areas around here. I believe it. Oh, here's another one, another 4 unit complex. Man, There's not a lot in La Cruz, but there's a couple. There's also this trailer park too. 350,000 for, what does it look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Looks like 5 units. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 units. Man, but it looks like you're in the outskirts of La Cruz. Real outskirts. I don't know if anyone's going to rent those. But there are some opportunities. I don't know what the income is down there, what any of the variables are for renting. I can't imagine the insurance on the home being that bad, but if you I would recommend that you require your tenants to have renters insurance. That would cover probably most of the issues that might pop up. I don't know, other than that, it looks like it's close to the main town. Oh, excuse me, close to the main area. I think those are some good ones there, but it's also going to be hard because you're looking at 395,000 with 395 times point. You want to put 25% down, so you're looking at 296,250. Go to mortgage calculator. 296, 250. So you're looking at a mortgage on that property of 200 2,272. Taxes. I don't know what the taxes are, but let's just say it's going to be about, probably with insurance and taxes, about 2,900 a month, right? So 2,900 divided by 4, so 725 per apartment. And depending on what this area rents, because I don't live in it, so I have no idea what you could expect the cash flow from this. Yeah, even the Zillow estimate saying 373,000, so it's already over the budget. I don't know what you could rent this for. I was saying 750 a unit. That's actually not too bad for a 2-bedroom. So let's say 750. You're paying 725 though. So you're not going to cash flow much. You're probably going to have to go with 850 or 950 just so you can build up a reserve. And that's if you put 25% down. So I don't know if there's any home, like the best thing to do, Callie, in your situation, if you're looking for a rental property, trying to find a rental property in a good area that's going to auction, usually a tax auction, because most likely it's someone didn't want to pay their taxes, or it was like the estate sale happened and they got to liquidate it for the taxes or something, like to pay the taxes on the estate. Okay, yeah, they put 25,000 in an upgrade, so you could probably get away with 1,200 in there. It looks nice, doesn't look bad, from my opinion, from my viewpoint. Doesn't look too bad. Shout out to your Renaissance, welcome in. Glad to have you in here. Although we're pretty much about ready to clock out here on the stream, as I got to make one more video before I can go back home. But yeah, I see some potential places in your area, Callie. I'm just not sure. If you want to hop on live, if you got some more questions, I know it's hard to type, but it is a little late. But if you want to hop on live, I'll be happy to answer some questions for you. That way we can, because it might be a little easier than trying to type answer. Actually, let's go back to that area. Change what we're looking for to townhomes, houses. Instead of doing 50K, or 500. Let's try for 150. Yep, there it is. Oh, that's definitely going to need a lot of work. Oof. Yeah, the inside's all gutted too. Yeah. Let's not bring that up to 200. Okay, 200. So let's go to 250. Okay, well you can definitely get a nice cheap house. I don't know what the house you live in, but there's definitely some good 200 in under $250,000 houses. Like, oh, that one's pretty nice. At least from the outside, it looks nice. Decent sized property. Looks like they did a lot of renovations on it. Oh, I think even this one you can turn into a multi-unit too. But there's no pictures on the inside. Oh, I mean, there's definitely some opportunity there. In La Cruz, I can definitely, you can definitely get a good sized house. Up there's one in foreclosure. Going through foreclosure. Oof, when was this built? 1990. Yeah, it looks like a 1990s home. Problem is, they all look the same. Some new construction. Let's take a look at those new construction, see what they're doing. Oh wow, that's a small home. Oof. But definitely could rent it out. But these are probably renting for. Yeah, they're probably going to rent for like 1,800. Shout out to Cali. Lots of new construction in this area. It all depends on where you want to go. Not a lot of opportunities in some of these areas. I'm not too familiar with this part, but you can definitely probably snag some good deals, especially if your credit's good enough. But it's got to make sense for you, your family, and your current financial position. You don't want to take on too big of a burden and then get stuck. Because the most common thing is you're going to have to replace something within the first year. Yeah, and you got to be prepared for that. So make sure you have enough cash to fix that too. Even if it's new construction, something always breaks. Something always goes bad. I'm just saying. Just keep that in mind, buddy. I don't know if Cody's still here.
Yes, I am.
So I know you're just kind of listening. This isn't really your forte, but I know Cody's game plan is to get into some real estate properties once the bull run hits, so he can diversify his income. And real estate is definitely a good way to diversify it, especially even with your businesses, because you can make quite a bit of money um, for your business and cash to the side. But the thing is you can't over leverage this with debt. I try not to go above 25% debt. So once I get it, like I just got a big property, we're probably not going to be buying anything till about this time next year. Let the rental income that comes in pay it off. We got a sufficient amount of reserve in it, so just in case anything happens. So yeah, it's like you don't want to be too over leveraged. Right now, I'm about 50%, so I'm gonna start paying my mortgage, my liabilities down to where I can get back to 25% leverage of my property. So this way, if I get liquidated, I get 75% of the value of what gets liquidated, just in case it does happen, because they're all business loans, and business loans can be liquidated at any time. Um, Sorry that could. I know it's kind of boring when we don't talk about crypto. I always get
No,
like
it's
30.
not boring. I'm just listening just because you have more life experience and understanding than I do.
Shout out to Sigma's number one fan. That's definitely an interesting name. Glad to have you in here. Yeah, we definitely had a decent amount of people come in and out of here, so glad to answer your guys' questions. It was a pretty good first stream from money for our Money Monday, but next week probably talk about balancing your portfolio and when to diversify your investments. I think that's going to be a good one for next week for you guys. But shout out to Callie. I think these are good topics to cover. Yeah, real estate's always a good topic to cover, but a lot people always want to see the sexy parts of real estate, not really the boring parts, which is you're going to get outbid on a lot of things. You're not going to make as much money as you think. Then you can talk about Section 8. You can talk about a lot of stuff. I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with Section 8. Mm-mm, I've heard a lot of horror stories, and I will stay away from those. So I like to buy problem-free places, as much problem-free as I can. That's what we kind of stick to, or that's what I kind of stick to. There are few of my competitors got houses all over, and now they're starting to sell because they're not renting them as much anymore. So they're not able to find tenants because they're just too far out. They didn't want to put the work in them, things like that. But with that said, I don't have anything else to really say on the stream. I know I was kind of doing most of the talking, but I appreciate you guys joining in. We will be back for morning market news tomorrow at 8 a.m. If you guys could like and subscribe, follow us on YouTube, give us a like there, and also hit that notification bell on YouTube as well so you can get notified when all the lives start and all the videos post. And keep an eye out for all the new videos that are dropping. And if you want early access to those videos and access to Discord, you can join the Patreon for $3. And you can message me on Patreon about any questions you have. But also, I did open up the business consulting, so I'm only taking on 20 people. If you want me to help you start with your business and start things like that, or help you coach you through your business or anything of that nature, definitely come in and join. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Hopefully, you're not in there too long, and we get your business off the ground, or we right the ship or right your ship to the way you want to go. Shout out to Crypto Dream. Glad Cody could made it too. Yeah, he's been here the whole time. He's been very quiet. So it's it's just one of those days. It's like it's tired. I just got back in from Oklahoma, driving in, so I was like an hour and a half away, and I'm probably going to be out on the road again tomorrow. So definitely got to come in, get the live stream out, and then head out. Shout out to Amir. Do you do crypto or stock trading? Both Cody and I are in crypto. I just trade stocks, and I also help. I also own 4 businesses, and I can help you other people with businesses, like Crypto Dream said. Is that in Patreon for the help for the business? Yes, but that is like a consulting sign up, only 20 spots. It's $100, and you get 2 sessions a month with me because it's going to take a lot to go through there. Shout out to Mira. I've been doing trading for 26 years. Yeah, then you're probably better at trading than I am. I don't really trade. I invest. So Cody and I are really long term. We hold until we earn until it hits the value that we perceive, or
Yes.
it no longer gets the value, and then we'll exit
See, now
out.
you got me talking. Yes, the pretty much with my crypto, I know it's a speculative asset class, high ROI, but I plan on holding my crypto for the next 2 3 years and buying back in the next bear market. Pretty much, cash out in the bull, buy in the bear.
Uh, Shout out to Amir. Check out my other account, Stock Market Coach. Maybe. I've been a stockbroker for 8 years. I have a Series 7. I'm not really I don't really recommend getting into coaching for trading because everybody's trying to tell you trade, make this record money in record time. That's just not how I believe it should happen. Shout out for Live and Learn. Welcome in. Glad to have you back in here. you picked me up. I guess you picked up right at the crypto conversation, but glad to have you in here. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to Cali, S&P and Nasdaq came up a little bit today. Hopefully, month goes up a bit. I think the more that I see it, I'm looking at the charts and everything. I think we're going to have a good holiday season, like a good run up on the holiday season, which means the drop is going to happen sometime in January or February, like the true drop. We're probably going to have a nice relief rally going into the holidays as everybody wants to hear good news. Shout out to Live and Learn. Few understand. Yeah, very few people understand how to really generate wealth and things like that. And try to push forward. I do see as we talk about crypto, more and more people start joining in.
Yes, I love it.
It's really weird. That's what I said. Like real estate's boring, but real estate is what's paying my crypto account. It's funding my crypto.
Yes. No,
Uh,
100%. I agree with you. The problem is I'm only 23, and with what I got going on right now, I'm not really ready for real estate. But I'll be there by the time I'm 25. By the time I'm 25, next couple years, I'll be able to talk real estate with you fluently.
oh yeah, and I'm hopefully going to be there to coach you through your couple first
Oh, you
property.
will for sure. You will, because I mean, shoot, I could expect to know you up in my 30s. Like you're gonna see the rest of my 20s. You're gonna see me grow into my 30s. Like you're gonna see it all. Like it's like kind of like that childhood friend that watches you grow up into an adult. It's like that's the type of friendship I want. It's like
Yep,
see me grind all in my 20s and see me shine in my 30s.
yep.
That's the plan.
And I'll see you into your 40s too, buddy.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out
the
to
40s and 50s will be my
yeah,
silver fox years.
yep. There you go. Shout out to uh, will will I see it ever? Where do you see interest rates on like mortgages? You can track it on actually the Federal Reserve sites, a lot of bank sites, CNBC. You can track a lot of mortgage rates, and the average mortgage right now is 8.474% is the average mortgage. Shout out to Live and Learn, China manufacturing PMI. Well, I'll say this about it: China might see a collapse on the manufacturing as a couple other countries are starting to try to get into that game. I think China's trying to switch out of manufacturing everything cheaply and try to do the finance everyone else to do it. I think that's what they're trying to do. It's definitely gonna. They're definitely losing ground as there are a few big grants coming for to entice companies to come back to the United States to do chip manufacturing and all sorts of things. So it's going to be interesting to see. Shout out to Live and Learn. We knew that game before it happened. Yeah, exactly. It's China's playing out like any other country on the way to first world participation. Right now, they're getting done their rapid industrialization. However, the problem right now is that they lack the population diversity to do it. So they don't have enough they don't have enough women to men, so they're not going to have enough kids to get the next generations going, as
Some
well
women
as
in China have to give birth, like they're just forced to.
well, yeah, they have what's called birther a birther position, which means they basically just take women, assign you to you're going to have kids until you either can't have kids anymore or at least till you have 10. It's crazy out there, and a lot of people in the U.S. are saying China is the way to go, communism is the way to go. You don't want to go to communism because they'll just
No,
stuff, and you're not going to like where they appoint you to.
I'd
Uh,
much rather have capitalism. I see people say that capitalism is only good if it works.
yeah,
Well, what do you
absolutely.
mean if it works? It's
Well, it's
like,
working for you. It's working for you guys. 'Cause we're pretty much on top of the world. Shout to Live and Learn. They're getting there. Welcome to my world. Hey, if you want to share your opinion on that, because it seems like you got a strong opinion on that whole area about communism versus capitalism. I think that's what we might do the stream on for tomorrow. Because we don't have a lot of news to talk about. On Wednesdays, we talk about fraud cases like the FTX case and the DJ's MV and Caesar Peanut case. But if you guys want to talk about that, definitely hit the guest button on the bottom left and join us live, and we can definitely have a quick chat about that. Um, but yeah, it's like I don't think that'd be good overall. Shout out to them. Learn. I enjoy hearing about SPF. Oh well, then you'll love the Wednesday stream because we got a lot of info to cover about
We
him.
get to see him cook real time.
Yeah, he is definitely getting cooked, fried, seared, baked, and thrown into the oven. It's like it's not looking good for that guy. Definitely not looking good. But I don't think it's like I know like there's been a couple people that kind of I met online and or not online but met in person, and they're pretty pro communism, anti capitalism. I seem to be seeing it on my streams and everything, and they're not understanding that you can't have one person make the decision economically for 350 million people. It's very hard, and you're going to make the wrong decision. Shout out to Live and Learn. SPF has been playing out differently for me with my information. I don't know everything. I think it looks like he's going to get away, but he's not. And even if he does, public opinion's gonna the mob. We got the mob that's gonna want answers. Not the mafia, but like, just the mob mentality. Will I see it ever? If we go CBDC, it might be game over. Yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin. But I could see central banks issuing CBDCs because I mean that's going to be the only salvation other than minting $1 trillion coin that's solid platinum or some other rare mineral metal to back the economy, which is just asinine. It's just really, really asinine. But it is what it is. We'll have to see how it unfolds. I don't think we'll see CBDCs in the United States until maybe like another decade, but we'll have to see. Shout out to Crypto Dream. CCP even had to adopt the CCP even had to adopt capitalism. Yeah, their citizenship was going insane. They had to change some things. Shout out to Live and Learn. Let's talk about who believes him because many do. Unfortunately, many do. I don't believe him. And there's recorded evidence that is speaking to the contrary. So I think he's on his way out, or he's on his way to jail. Shout out to Crypto Dream. The Fed issuing a stablecoin would serve the same. Yes, it would serve the same. And the reason why it's worrisome, and I've actually had a plan on a video on CBCs in the future, but the reason why it's going to change. It's going to change. It would be bad is because once they can lock you out of a wallet, like let's just say they issue like a carbon neutral and you're having a carbon tax, you can only have like a set number of determined carbons, right? Well, if you go and you buy steak and charcoal and you're going to grill, all of a sudden you reach that, and then all of a sudden you can't buy gas, you can't do anything, you can't drive your car because your wallet's locked. I know there's some talk about EV vehicles that they're being able to shut down those vehicles. I don't know if that's feasibly possible yet, but it's definitely a worry. I mean, BMW backed off on its subscription-based heater seat warmers in there. It's like, damn, that was like a cash grab if I ever saw one.
Pay a subscription for seat warmers.
Yes, your seat warmers won't activate. But I even saw it in doing a. I was out on a job for a client down in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, and it's like you can't if haven't paid your HOA fees, they lock you out of your home. Like that's absurd. I would take a bat and break down the gate. Like forget that. That's why I don't like HOAs.
Yeah, nobody likes HOA. They're like the ATF for guns. Nobody likes the ATF.
Exactly. Shout out to Live and Learn. How does anyone know who's telling the truth? And then there is security. They made them too hot. Yeah, they certainly did. Oops, I don't mean to do that. Yeah, people are so sick of subscriptions. Yeah, subscriptions on optional services is fine, but subscriptions on things that like for your car, for things you need for work are kind of overplayed. And 'cause I remember back in the day, a lot of people don't remember this, but Microsoft used to only be able to get Windows as a monthly subscription, and Microsoft Office as a monthly subscription only. And it wasn't until so many people complained and they were switching to other products that they brought it back to where you could buy it and just be done with it. It's like nobody wants like I want to pay like $12 a month to be able to use something I need to live to use for work or my business. Uh, so yeah, it's definitely crazy with the subscriptions. I'm surprised people even still do it nowadays, but it is what it is. Um, like I don't really get do Hulu or Netflix subscriptions because just I just buy the whatever thing I'm watching. I just buy it. That way I don't have to worry about it. But man, I am getting we're at a hour and a half mark. Ooh, you guys kept me going on off topic, but I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know some of you guys came in.
Man,
If you guys can like and subscribe, follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. It really helps.
I just want to say too, like Ethereum to the moon one day. You know, Bitcoin and ETH to the moon one day.
Yep.
It will get
And
there.
one day those things are gonna go. Um, Shout out to Crypto Dream. I saw Loki season one was on sale at Walmart. I don't have Disney Plus, so I might grab it. Yeah. Shout out to Live and Learn. Good moves. Yeah, like my staple cryptos are definitely doing well. And when everyone else, like when the meme coins and all the janky stock crypto picks didn't do well, all the stable coins, like everyone's talking about Hex, but if you'd stayed in Quant, Ethereum, Bitcoin, even XRP, ADA, Dot, Chainlink, you would have made 50 to 60% on this increase. You would have
It's
done
not
a good.
everybody talking about Hex. It's just the Hex like promoters and the shillers. That's it.
Yeah, it's just the
But yeah,
Hexicans.
they're down 70% for the year. But yeah, like Quant, for example, like if you would have stayed in Quant, like the staples, especially Chainlink. I mean, Chainlink, Bitcoin, and ETH. If you would have just chose those three, you'd be up a lot. If you would
Yeah,
have just
Hex.
been buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink for the past 18 months, 18 to 20
Mhm.
months, oh man, you'd be up.
Yeah, Hex is. I mean, it's up 164%, but you're talking about going from 0.003 to 0.009. We're barely coming back to a cent, but if you look at it for the year, we're still down in the dumps. I don't think it's coming back.
No.
Shout out to Live and Learn. Some of us needed to be here. Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate you guys joining in. Just you all our long, long term hardcore supporters. Some
We
of
need
you
to do
like
a 2 hour stream one day. We need to have one day to where we do like a 2 hour or 2.5 hour.
well, we did have a couple streams go over the 2 hour mark. But I'd like to do one where we could do like a 3 hour like Q&A session for you guys.
I
Really
want to
just
do a long stream.
answer answer any questions you guys may have.
During the bull run, I can see us doing those long streams because during the bull run, I expect more engagement and there's going to be a lot more hype and euphoria, and people are just going to be talking and talking and talking.
Yes. Oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna check out here for you guys. Shout out to Live and Learn. Go Hex. I so enjoyed Hex reads. Hex was so transparent. It was transparent until it wasn't transparent anymore. But it is what it is. You definitely could have made some money off of Hex, but long term, I just think most likely it's a bad investment. But I appreciate you guys joining in. Cody and I definitely appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Patreon. Really appreciate all your guys' support, and we definitely appreciate doing this and having fun chatting with you guys and going over everything. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the content we're putting out. We do see that we're getting more and more people joining in every day. So glad to have you guys in. Glad to have everybody who's been with us from the beginning in, like Crypto Dream, Callie, Live and Learn. Shout out to LJ. I think you've been one of our followers for a couple months now. Really appreciate that. So hopefully tomorrow you guys will enjoy the live. I need to get some sleep so I can function tomorrow because we got a pretty busy day, and we got some topics to talk about. We're gonna keep talking about Solana because it's almost over $36 now, or is at $36 now. So it's kind of crazy why that's just it is 36.26 now. Man, it's a good thing I didn't short that. I'd be pretty upset right now. That goes to show you sometimes you think it's going to go one direction in crypto and then it goes in the complete opposite. Like I thought with the relief rally would end, and it didn't, and we're still going. And it's like even the volume is increasing, so it's just crazy.
It is.
It
Yeah, I've
definitely is.
noticed that too.
But if
I'm
you
like,
guys
when
want,
is this relief rally gonna? Sorry.
yeah, no worries. Like when is this going to end? But it's looking like it's going to be here till the end of the year, but we'll have to see, or at least till the end of Thanksgiving. But anyway, also, I want to side note, guys. Thanksgiving, I won't be streaming because I actually, now that I have time and earn enough money that I have time and effort, I can go back to New Jersey and see my dad, and we all can have family Thanksgiving together. So that's going to be fun. So I'll be gone for like 4 or 5 days. So, but
It's gonna be a nice the Thanksgiving part.
yeah, but I'll still do the morning market news for you guys. Probably won't I probably won't do Crypto Dream. I probably won't do the Friday stream. I'm sure he wants to spend time with his family. But thank you, Live and Learn. Yeah, it's lucky. It's actually been 10 years since I've seen my dad. So I've talked to him on the phone and FaceTime a couple times, but he's not very new age technology savvy, and he's 70. He's going to be 75 this year. So I definitely want to go see him. Um, Shout out to Cali. I hope the rally continues. I think XRP will make it to 60 cents, then pull profits. I hope so too. I'm waiting for the day XRP goes to $1. I'm gonna make just money off of it going to $1, and I'll be really happy with that. But we'll talk more about crypto tomorrow morning. Thank you guys. Like the live, like the stream, follow us on there. Thank you, Joy. Thanks for being in your comment. Yes, go and see your dad. Yeah, it's been a decade since I physically seen him and sat down and enjoyed a dinner with him. Even Thanksgiving. I think the last time was the last family reunion I went to, which was crazy. That was a while ago. I've been running these businesses, building wealth. I just bought my parents their dream home, and out in the state that they wanted to. And that was one of my goals for a long time, get them that, and definitely really happy to see it. So thank you guys. Really appreciate all the support. Shout out to Live and Learn. Why isn't he trying harder? My father seems to make the moves to do so. um, while if that is a while, we try to make it out to California to visit family for Thanksgiving, and Thank you, Joy. I'm sure he'll enjoy seeing you. Yes, he will. We always have great conversations. Um, I definitely last year I bought him a gift, a telescope, a really good telescope, really good one, and hopefully this Thanksgiving we get to pull it out and stargaze because he's really big into astronomy and physics and things like that. He was a physics teacher. He was a physics and chemistry teacher for like 48 years. No, I'm sorry, 43 years. 43 years. He was there for a long time. Uh, See, your dad sees you every day in his new home. Yep. I hope so. They definitely like it, and it's all nice and one level for my parents. So, um, I just hope they enjoy everything. My brother and I are definitely working hard to build this, so hopefully we can keep going. But thank you guys. Thank you guys all for the lovely comments and the support. Really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow live. Make sure that you always do your own research and don't invest more than you're willing to lose. With that said, guys, I am checking out. Have a wonderful evening. I'm probably going to go grab some dinner, do a quick workout, and then go home and be back here tomorrow morning. So definitely see you guys later.